So it was a message far more powerful than President Trump's colourful words at the UN, and it was sent to North Korea over the weekend, as we've been hearing. US bombers and fighters flew close to North Korea's eastern coast, getting further north than they have since the turn of the century. The flyovers were given the green light by the government here in Seoul, but China has warned that such moves are overly aggressive. Jung-hee with the details.
The flyovers by U.S. warplanes off North Korea's east coast over the weekend were an agreed move between South Korea and the United States. 2 B-1B Lancer bombers from Andersen Air Force Base in Guam and 6 F-15C air superiority fighter jets from Okinawa's Kadena Air Base flew in international airspace off North Korea's east coast for approximately 3 hours from Saturday night until early Sunday morning. That was the farthest north of the demilitarized zone any U.S. fighter or bomber jet has flown in the 21st century. As South Korean President Moon Jae-in abruptly opened the National Security Council meeting on Sunday, many had speculated the U.S. hadn't notified South Korea of the flyovers beforehand. But Seoul's presidential office says the flyovers were reported in real time to President Moon Jae-in, who was then in New York for the UN General Assembly. Reacting to the recent demonstration, China's English state media The Global Times reported that China won't allow any provocation to regional security. The agency reported that the possibility of Washington taking extreme measures against Pyongyang is rising and that China has to be ready for a possible war. Tensions are rising on the Korean Peninsula with recent flyovers as well as an exchange of tough rhetoric between the leaders of the U.S. and North Korea. But experts here believe this may not be all.
We have to focus on the fact that the format of the United States armed protest has completely changed. Bombers flew towards the north, and jets for assistance like rescue planes also joined the flyovers. This means the U.S. assumed a military attack against North Korea and aimed to show that it can come up with even stronger military demonstrations depending on Pyongyang's future provocations.
Speculation is rising in regards to what the U.S. will show next, especially with the South Korea-U.S. joint exercise coming up next month. The drill will involve the nuclear-powered supercarrier USS Ronald Reagan, Tomahawk missiles, and the Aegis combat system. Jung-hee, Arirang News.